Hello, I want to ask you a question, and I don't want you to laugh. What's the bold thing you're going to do today? What's the thing you're going to try that you've been putting off? So what is the bold thing you're going to try today? Is it using your daughter's toy as a prop to get attention? Maybe. There's actually a simple way sometimes to do something bold, and it comes down to just two words. Yes or no. So what will you decide to do that's in the yes category? Or, alternatively, what will you decide to do that's in the no category? Yes, but why are we doing this in the first place? Why put ourselves through the uncomfortable feeling of saying yes or no? That's a really good question, actually. Why would you put yourself through that? Being uncomfortable and having to say yes or no to something? Because it gives us the opportunity to do what matters and what we want to do for ourselves. Dare yourself to say yes or no and do what matters to you today. So we've all had those times in life where we think we have to do something amazing and miraculous to make a change. And it can often come down to just those two simple words of yes and no. Those two words can be as liberating as each other. Yes, taking on the opportunity. Yes, for stepping towards something that we've been putting off. And yet no can be just as empowering. It can let us find ourselves and be truer to ourselves and our own values sometimes than when we have to follow the pack or follow what's expected of us. So today, can you embrace those two thoughts? Can you embrace the thought of a simple yes or a simple no, to actually take on something that you've been looking forward but putting off and being brave in that moment? Or alternatively, can the no be empowering and letting you find more of yourself rather than feeling that you're having to fit in? So guess what? Let's have a look at what things that we can say yes to. And the first one is saying yes to something when we don't feel we're quite ready to tackle a task. Sometimes when we're given opportunities, we're not always in the absolute best place in life to take them on. And yet, who knows the depth of our skill set and our resolve and our resilience until we actually take on a task and give it a good try. So that's the first thing, that we often say no when in fact we can take our task. So saying yes sometimes to starting a course when we've been putting it off, starting a friendship when we've felt burnt before, we don't want to be hurt again, taking that first step towards something bigger. Sometimes we have a big dream and yet we don't take a first step towards it. Take that small step. Instead of thinking of the negative things of how far away that journey is, look at the small thing that sometimes is right in front of us. One of the obvious things to say yes to is exercise. Say yes to doing it right now. Say yes to finding something that actually gets you started. You don't have to have the best shoes on. You don't have to have the best clothes on. You don't have to have your music all plugged in and played. You can simply go for a walk. You can simply find a moment, 10 minutes, that gives you some sort of increased cardio, increased weight bearing, increased towards the exercise platform or reward or goal that you may have in your future. It's all about starting. It's all about taking that first opportunity and getting going rather than staying stuck in that moment. So your bold moment is to say yes when you've been feeling that nothing is actually going in your way. So here's a really big thing for no. You could say no to perfectionism. So understanding the difference between excellence and perfectionism, where excellence is looking for something that has to be utterly perfect in every moment of every action, whereas excellence is doing the best you can in whatever circumstances you're in. So perfectionism sometimes is a big thing we'd like to say no. That would be the arching overall thing we're saying no to. But here's the smaller thing that sometimes we should say no to spending money so we can get started. Sometimes the things that we want to get started with don't always require the outlay of money, and we're constantly burdened by the fact that we've got to go back and repay that money, and then we feel we have to keep working to repay that money, and we're actually taking us further and further away from the actual thing that we want to do. In general, there's usually an easy way of getting started with things, a free way of getting started with things. Take that opportunity. Say no to actually looking for the quick pill, quick fix, quick spending of money to actually get you started so that you have the feeling that you're starting on a good foundation. Money doesn't solve that. Money just compounds the difficulty you're having, because then you're having to take time away from the thing that you want to do. And that also allows you to saying no to overtime, giving time to yourself, giving time to the space that you need, saying no to having to spend time around toxic people, saying no to all those times that we feel we don't have time, and yet if we look at our days, all the things that we're just allowing ourselves to drift in and drift along with. watching TV when we don't need to, interacting on social media when we don't really need to. That can be time spent on you, reading, updating, learning. Boldness doesn't have to be charging in a trench. Boldness doesn't have to be life-altering in that moment. It is just a small step towards something that you want to show courage in. And courage can simply come from those two words, saying yes to something or no to something, and allowing more of you to shine through, allowing more of the values that you want to show and be to shine through. So instead of being stuck, instead of being worn down by life, be bold today. Ask yourself that question and get back into living your life. I hope this little question helps you in the next thing you want to do in your life. Please drop me a comment of the thing that you said no or yes to, and hopefully you can share it with some friends or anyone that's you feel that's being stuck as well in their lives. Please like and subscribe this video, and as always, remember to be kind, and the most important person to be kind to is you. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.